We got us as Diabolicals over for the team one as the Demonology. On that team, we got Daridian, Lathbrook in the back. We got Razor. We got ourselves Artemis skulking around as a survival hunter out in the open versus Stabby Thoris, which is worthless on his Void Elf Rogue. On the team, we got us as Kargath on the Beastmaster Hunter. We got us as Beastly Lock on the Warlock. We got us as Dali on yet another Rogue, and Whalers in the back as a Retribution Paladin. I like that Mog, by the way. That red with crystals, that looks good. Starting to Artemis as the Rogue finally comes out of stealth, seeing the survival out of stealth, going to be hit by Steel Trap immediately. Body shot to follow. Mind go for a trinket here, going to be shot up immediate trinket. Just to keep the pressure going in. Is that going to be a death mark? Potentially. Artemis with a feign death could be in a big trouble. Going to be a cheap shot. Not even death mark yet. It's going to be a spike. Artemis could just go down to the dots. Is going to try to see if he can fight past it with an acceleration, as Stabby does have a couple of dots, and the pet attacking behind the pillar is going to be Artemis maintaining the tag onto Stabby just to make sure he don't really get himself an easy way out of this one. Poker shot is getting shot to follow. Does not sit that kidney shot for too long though. I guess it was really short. Stab going to be a big burst on Artemis, but I think it's going to be over unless he got himself a bit of a heal. Decided, like, you know what? I don't have a lot of defenses. I gotta go counter offensive at the very end. That was a rough though. Going to be worthless now versus, what is it, Diabolicals? Yeah, just gonna let him sit back there with a pet, huh? The longer you sit without Felguard, eventually that Felguard with the Demon Doggers are gonna wear you down. Unless you can maybe just wait it out, you're just actually melting. Is that a battle master chicken getting used up? Because eventually that thing, look at the amount of damage these pets are all doing. You're just sitting behind the pillar. Diabolicals hasn't even touched you at all. And that Felguard can just do enough damage. You don't even need to actually fight the Warlock. You're just fighting the Felguard more than anything. My goodness. Honestly, whenever you stun a Warlock, you just stun their pet instead. At this point, I think you might just have to stun their pet. So you just CC the pet. The pet is so much worse than the Warlock now. My goodness. Gonna be a port for Diabolicals as they actually get quite a bit of damage. All the momentum transferred over to Kargath with all these pets. Stun onto Diabolicals from a distance. Got him so a big death shock him. Potentially can maybe crack through the defenses. Mad kill commits back to back though. With both of the two competitors are actually super low. Kargath having to deal with the demons from Diabolicals is actually gonna have to pop a turtle shell as that Felguard is just rampaging right through him. We'll definitely need to find a way to CC that Felguard. Try to see if we can get next to Diabolicals, but Diabolicals just in the global two setting out Demon Doggers. It is gonna be able to have all those attack him at once, but why? Why are you attacking these boys like that? What did they do? It's just a hunter. Why'd you do that to him? Why are you gonna do that to, why is Kargath just being a flag post right now? What is happening? Dali gonna be up next, already getting barraged by all these pets, got himself an evasion. But as a Felguard is approaching, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna vanish it. I'm just gonna go for a reset, get myself a ballistic CC. Maybe I'll have an easier time right now. All Diabolicals need to do is slow down Dali, keep him there with the Felguard. Actually, let the Felguard just rampage right through him. Doesn't need to do nothing. Oh my god! This is the strongest Felguard I ever seen. This Felguard is incredible. And you know, there's Diabolicals there that's with the Felguard. He's like a +1. But honestly, I feel like the Felguard is the champ of this duel right now. My goodness, look at that boy go. Beast is going to be up next. A Demonology versus Demonology, sending out a Felguard of his own. That's the only way to stop Demonology Warlocks, huh? With the Demonology of your own. Mordecai for Mordecai, as both of them got the same track mind. Diabolical sending out some Demon Doggers, hanging out by the pillar. Is going to be wall. Got himself a Tyrant to try to see if he can maybe use the Tyrant and the empowerment of his pets in order to get some early pressure to Beastly. But Diabolical himself is not doing all that good either. Oh my goodness. Beastly didn't even have to go for a Tyrant there, but it was one of those like death throws by Diabolicals. He knew he had to make a play, and that was his play. The Ridian up next as Unholy DK. He needs to grip Diabolical's Beastly rather out of position. He needs to make sure he can lock him down, get his army of undead in here as soon as he can. Got himself the big grippy hand. Army's joining in. Does get himself the big A-bomb as well with the Gargoyle to follow. This is where the Ridian just needs to play it super safe. Let the pets really finish off. Diabolicals does get a stun on all these pets as they're all clumped up together. But Beats is still maybe going down to the undead army unless they can maybe back up out of there. It looks like the Ridian does end up getting that execute at the end, but Whaler's gonna go in without even a moment's notice, not giving the Ridian a chance to recover. Does go in for the short stomp by the pet, but it looks like he just does not have that much momentum. Does have quite a bit of damage for Whalers though. That Gargoyle still able to get those Gargoyle strikes back to back with the Abomination doing quite a bit of work, but Whalers is able to deal with it. And Whalers had to pop in some offensive cooldowns, but now he's going up versus another Paladin. Walking into this one without a trick, it could, oh my god, are we seriously going to be doing this? Alright, well, if Whaler's using the portal, then I think Ray should be allowed to use the portal too, the gate. Because at least that'll be kind of sort of fair. Blind, nothing we know about the gates, by the way. Like, if somebody takes the gate, like, trying to control somebody, from not using one. It's difficult, but you can't really enforce it. Gonna be Race. Got himself a bit of a spell warden, immune to magic damage. While Whaler just trying to see if he can get himself some distance. Being a paladin, you got so much holy strike and radiant damage. None of it's really all that physical, so that immunity actually does counter your damage quite well. But looks like Whalers has been able to survive Raze just pretty well, actually. And trying to maximize some damage. Gonna be a big stun. Raze does not have an answer unless he has a bubble. I don't think he has a bubble. Gonna be shield events pretty early on for Whalers. Trying to see if he can continue to play defensively, but a blind out of Raze is gonna be able to break and stun to follow. Is that a hammer hanging over his head? No. Both of them playing for final Rex zooms. And Whalers actually getting quite a bit of damage to Raze, but Raze got himself a bubble. Whalers maybe going for Spell Warden himself. Does get a Spell Warden. Both of them are countering each other for every cooldown. And that's going to be a port for Raze. Now he gets to take advantage of that bonus mobility of the gateway. Whalers, though, maybe has cooldowns coming up. Whalers as well as Raze both have a trinket, so it really is going to come down which one of them trinkets first or trinkets last, I think, but should be able to counter each other's stuns. Stun onto Race, gonna go for a trinket. Whalers maybe could go for a sanctified, and no, not gonna do that at all. Actually gonna pop big cooldowns. Race with that wall, trying to see if he can dampen some of this harm, some of this damage. But Whalers with a hand of freedom, trying to see if he can catch up. Race also got a hand of freedom of his own. It's gonna go for a stun to Whalers, holding onto his trinket though. Or maybe he can't actually use his trinket yet. Might actually let me have access to his trinket for a bit. It's gonna go for that lay on hands. Does Race have a lay? No! Both paladins have used up all of the big cooldowns. The Blessing of Protection, or rather Sanctified, Blessing of Spell Warden, Blessing of Spell Warden, Bubble, as well as Lay on Hands, all have been used up already. Whalers does have a Shield of Vengeance, and maybe he could utilize that in order to get counteroffensive, but it looks like Raze trying to maybe hang back and get some cooldowns of his own. Whalers not super excited to get in there either. Actually, he's fine playing a little bit more for the range game, just trying to maybe wait for his own cooldowns. Got himself hand of freedom to catch up with a stun. Raze has no answer for this one. Wake Up Ash is slamming him down. Is it going to be enough though? Trying to see if he can make a play. Gonna be a counter stun by Raze with a shield of vengeance for Whalers with a trinket. Blind by Raze. Got himself a shield of vengeance of his own, but definitely wasn't played super defensive while we are still at 44% dampener. Whalers though wants to end this duel at all if possible, but Raze trying to use the same ability as God in order to stay away from the guy. Looks like Whalers still has cooldowns. Raze got wings of his own. Maybe could turn this around. Could be anyone's game. Does it stay in? Definitely wants to play defensive. Raze gets super critically low, but Whalers is also on his last leg. Could be again anyone's game. Big Wake Up Ashes does, and him slamming right through him. Are you kidding me? He had to wait until the wake was back up just to make sure he gets the victory. My goodness. Diabolicals does get 3 though. I feel like that shouldn't be taken away from anybody. Diabolicals did go in there and slam it out with a Felguard. But at the end of the day, Whalers and Raze, that's where it just came down to a race against time between the two paladins. And that Wake of Ashes was able to seal the deal at the end of the day. Let's get us another going here, boys, yeah? Uno más, uno más.